We are live now. You can start the session.
A very good evening, everybody. I thank everybody to join in here today in this webinar hosted by Team YOSI and YOSI Career Portal. So, Young Entrepreneurs Society of India was formed in 2014 by then President Dr. Arun Arora and Dr. Vijay Kumar. And this webinar is powered by Medica Bazaar, who is our team here today, who will be also talking with us about the finances. And this community is now 5,000 members strong. In the year 2018, the Presidential Working Group was introduced by Dr. Sonal Kalia, then President. And this is the current office bearers of YOSI, led by Dr. Divakant Mishra as President, Dr. Sonal Kalia as Past President, Dr. Karan Bhatia as Vice President, Dr. Nilesh Kumar as Secretary, Dr. Aditya Sethi as Treasurer, and Dr. Prasanna V. Ramesh as Joint Secretary. And this is a team of 20 dynamic executive members. And in the year 2025, in the month of March, we launched a app of YOSI Career Portal. It was designed by Dr. Nilesh and Mr. Ravi. And what this app helps you to do is you can post a job, you can post a fellowship, and you can it is a free to use apps for both the employees and the employers. And this app almost has 100 plus downloads till now. I think it has more. It has reached more now in the current few months. So we had a series of webinars after that on YOSI Career Portal where we talked about different networking opportunities, starting with your fellowships in different subjects and starting a successful clinic and then running a private retina clinic. And then we had our breakthrough in the Job and Fellowship Carnival in YOSICon, where we had almost 28 institutes who supported us by being part of us, where we had a meet and greet with these institutes with all our delegates, and almost more than 400 plus delegates were helped with this job and fellowship carnival. And these are a few glimpses of this project. This was the idea of Dr. Devakant and Dr. Nilesh, which I just executed, and my team was very helpful for me over there. And today we welcome you all for this webinar, which is Transform Your Financial Confusions into 2020 Reality. I would like to introduce our chairperson who needs no introduction, Dr. Anaga Herur ma'am. She is currently the president of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. She is a member ARC West Zone AIOS. She is the chairperson of West Zone ISMICS. She is an executive member of IIRSI. She is a member FBS Women's Empowerment and Networking Community, and former zonal member of MOS, former member Scientific Committee MOS. She is a former co-editor of AIS newsletter. She is currently the managing director of Anilai Hospital Group and the chairperson for Gopal Krishna Charitable Trust. We have our speaker, Dr. Niranjan Karthik, who is currently serving as the executive member of Young Ophthalmology Society of India. He is also the managing committee member of TNOA and the secretary for Thabaram Ophthalmic Society. He is currently the junior consultant at Nirmal Eye Hospital, Chennai, and a fellow of the same institute. He has a PG diploma in medical law and ethics and National Law School. And a few months back, he and Dr. Nikunj conducted a very nice session in YOSICon with the on finances. And I'm Dr. Sunandini Bose. I'm an executive member of YOSI and the team lead for YOSI Career Portal. And my co-moderator is Dr. Asmita Patni Chauhan. She's a cornea and phaco consultant at Ankur Agarwal Eye Hospital. And she's also the principal for Ankur Institute of Optometry. Dr. Asmita, I would like you to introduce our panelists, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sunandini, and a very good evening to everyone. So we are delighted to have panelists here, our very own Dr. Nilesh Kumar, who is a medical director at Madhavi Netralaya, and he has always inspired us through his innovations. Next, I would like to welcome, ma'am, can I have the next slide, please?
Dr. Asmita, I think your network is poor. Are you there, Dr. Asmita?
Yes, can we move to the next
Yeah,
slide,
the
please?
next slide is already on to Dr.
Yes.
Neeraj Shah.
Yeah, so I welcome Dr. Neeraj Shah, who is the Chief Medical Officer and Consultant.
I think some problem with your internet, Dr. Smita.
Dr.
So I
Sunandini,
welcome.
maybe you can take over. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I would like to introduce Dr. Neeraj Shah. He is the Chief Medical Officer and Consultant for Cataract, Cornea and Refractive Services at Shankar Eye Hospital, Jaipur, and he has been actively involved into various academic presentations in various state and national forums. He is also an integral part of Sankara Academy of Vision and has been trained student and fellow since many years. And we welcome Dr. Nikunj Tang, who is a cornea, cataract and refractive surgeon at SRJ Netralaya. He is an executive member of YOSI and regular investor, and he has interest in personal finance management. And I welcome the VP of Medica Bazaar, Dipali Nayesh, who is a postgraduate of biochemistry from Indore and worked in pharma companies Ciplan and Baxi, med device companies Baxter, Life Sciences Aventar, and has largely loads of regional and national sales, corporate sales, and business heads, and has been working with Medica Bazaar for the last 5 years. And she has launched the Ophthal division in Medica Bazaar, and we also invite Virender Singh Rawat, who is a Master of Financial Administration. He has qualified financial professional for over 25 years of experience in banking and finance industries. He has a proven skills in relationship management, sales, product management, credit risk management, analytics, creating and financing solution for customers and settling up and improving processes. We welcome you all for this webinar. With this, I would like to ask Anaga ma'am to give her welcome address for our young
Yeah.
ophthalmologist.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunandini. And I think the YOSI is doing absolutely a great job by having such beautiful webinars and with such relevant topics, which is so important for each one of us. In fact, I would say, no, why just young ophthalmologists, even for the senior ophthalmologists. I think today it's not important just to earn money, but also to know how to rightly invest it and how to put your money in the right place. So I think these are important things, and we all thank YOSI for taking such innovative decisions and having such innovative ideas. So I think let's proceed with the webinar today, and we look
Thank you
forward
so
to it.
thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Asmita, would you like to
Yes,
call
so
upon the speaker?
with that, it's my honor to invite our speaker, Dr. Niranjan Karthik, to begin his talk. Dr. Karthik, this virtual stage is yours. Please take us through your insights.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At the outset, I have too many people to thank. So I'd like to just keep it short by thanking the organizing team and thanking the chairperson and the organizers for having me as a speaker. And I have a disclaimer upfront. Speaking amid stalwarts in both practice and finance, I'm just here to share my 2 cents on finance management for a young ophthalmologist, as that's been the topic that was given to me. So I'm totally subject to any suggestions and improvements from the panel. So with that disclaimer, let me quickly start sharing my screen and let's get going. All right, so the ophthalmologist's wallet. So the 10 commandments for financial clarity. I was asked to speak on what are all the perspectives that a young ophthalmologist is expected to know from the finance side. And I would like to thank the founder of our finance wing, Nikunj sir, also for having shared a few inputs which I've used here. So first is over our entire period of 25 to 30 years that we've been drilled with a very huge number of misconceptions, I would call it. So as doctors, we are supposed to earn surplus, have a very comfortable work environment with a good, work-life balance, settle in nicely in life, right? So that's how we were all at least picturizing our futures when we wanted to become doctors. Now, what we were not told clearly when we treaded the journey of becoming a doctor was, where are we going to get this comfortable work environment? Earn surplus, but how? Settle in life, but settle when? At what age are we going to do it? And retirement, is that even a possibility in our field? So these were certain questions which we did not have a clarity when we chose to take up this profession as our career. So this applies to medicine in general and ophthalmology in particular as well. So what are the practical difficulties that we face as budding doctors? First of them would be financial crunch situations. Many of us have availed several student loans for our undergraduation and post-graduation. Parents, often being monthly salaried, they are quite averse to thinking of starting up our own practice, afraid of risk-taking, and they tend to impart that kind of a fear in us as well. Stock picking is directly equivalent to gambling, and entering into the stock market is a big, risk-taking process. We always had to toil through decades of studies and bearing the family expenses on the shoulders amidst kickstarting our career immediately post PG is one of the very important hurdles that we all face. Moreover, we are always trained to be the best employee. We are trained how to work better, how to be the best in the room as an employee. And often we lack education in personal finance, taxation, etc. And entrepreneurship is definitely beyond the scope of our usual syllabus. Career deciding situations. So when I mention this, affording better training opportunities in India and abroad is a big question. And training at many institutes are often as fellows, and the pay may not be substantial to run the family situation. And work-leisure balance. So this really pinches us when we have to report to the OPD at 9 a.m. in the morning, or sometimes even 7 a.m. on busy Monday mornings. After the so-called weekend on a Sunday, let's say we travel for leisure, we travel for a conference, all of that doesn't matter, you report Monday morning. So these are the few practical difficulties we all face as a young ophthalmologist in the process of trying to attain financial freedom and whatnot. So what are we looking for? We are basically looking for a way out. And how do we get there? So here I am with the 10 commandments of financial clarity. And by financial clarity, I'm just here to sort of mention the misconceptions that we are being drilled with and a few hacks. See, everybody knows some amount of basics of finance. So here, not only am I going to share a few principles, but I'm also going to give at least a hack for each principle that I'm going to share, which you can take home as a practical point and apply it from the word go, right? So first principle, as I would like to call it, is to start early. So that is probably the biggest advantage we all have as young ophthalmologists compared to anything else. So that is why I've placed it right at the top of the list as to start early. And we all must have at least come across the word of SIP, systematic investment and all that. But is there a better way of doing this altogether? Yes, we do. So there comes the concept of step-up SIP. So as we know that monthly installments of savings and investment is a part, here is a graph that shows how increasing the SIP amount by a matter of just 10%, like it is just about increasing it from 100 to 110 rupees. And the results you get out of it is multifold. And that is a very important hack that I learned in the past, or at least in the earliest stages of my financial learning. So at least this sort of an exercise is to be done once a year, if not possible to do it every 6 months, right? So we all know, yes, SIP is a gold standard way of investing, especially for people who are paid on a monthly basis and all that. But this is one more extra point that you could take home. Don't be in a hurry. We're not running a race. There is no, end line or, flag off of anything. So why am I mentioning this is because we have to give the power of compounding its due respect. We have to give it the time. And being in a hurry, yes, we are losing out on our youth. We might be thinking, what is the point of earning so much money towards our old age if you're not getting to enjoy it now? All that is right. But planning for the long term with the goals in mind, that's my next point coming up. So you have to give it the time and the space for the power of compounding to actually show its true importance, right? So that is the second point of power of compounding. Now, coming to the most important and the most underrated point I have to share today, defining the goals. See, investing can never be without goals, right? So goal-less investing is almost pointless because each type of investing is completely different from one another. And if you don't have the right kind of an instrument of investing for the right goal, then you are in big trouble, because at the time when you need that money the most, if you're not having it in the right instrument, then it is highly likely that you're going to end up on the wrong side of the game. So goals are to be laid. Now, it is not to be kept rigid, but to be kept flexible with a range of time. So that is why goal-based investing is crucial. And this is another way of putting it across. It is important not to time the market, but spend time in the market. By that, I mean to say that the more you're going to want to play with the stock market and the investing process, it's going to backfire, right? The better way of doing it is to make it automated, right? The word automated has so much emphasis in the process of investing, and even the biggest of the stalwarts in investing say actually building wealth is boring. So it has to be kept boring for you to be successful, rather than trying to make it, like playing a game, right? This is one of the screenshots of the trading apps that I have put forth here. 9 out of 10 individual traders in equity, futures, and options incurred net losses. And this is not something that I am saying. So don't gamify investing. Keep it simple, keep it boring, and I'm sure it will work out. So this is another testimony to the same statement, where it shows what 7 years of investment period in the Nifty 50, that is top 50 countries in top 50 companies in the country, is offering. And just have a look at the first statement, forget the rest. There was not a single instance of negative returns, right, for a 7-year investment period in the last 23 years, right? Now that stands to say that investing for the long term is the way forward. Acquire financial literacy. Now, we've been very busy all our lives trying to get to the next level of our education, and that has been a one-way path with no side tracks. But now it's time we got to make some effort to learn these extra parts, and we have enough and more resources. But just like we have too much scientific information available online, it is also very true that this information of finance is also going to make us go wild. So it is important to pick the right resources, choose the right magazines, right? These are some platforms which can help you streamline your learning process, make it very routine and regularized. And it's enough if you are updated. You don't have to dive deep into it. There are people and experts, even some of them have joined us today, to do that. Just know what things are. You don't have to get into the details, to channelize your money into the right things into too much depth, right? But know what things are, at least the terminologies. It's always important to grow together. So there are so many platforms which are very, very much available and ready to guide youngsters, which is not very commonly adopted by many people, and many are not even aware. And that's mainly because, just a second. This is the platform that I was fortunate to be a part of, thanks to my mentor, Dr. Nirmal Frederick. He introduced me to this group of doctors who have immense financial knowledge. And there is a similar group in every association and society that we need to look out to. So YOSI has a financial literacy wing. And similarly, we have so many such platforms which will give us ideas. And those are to be verified with our financial advisors before proceeding with it. Understand the intricacies of our financial setup. So this is another important point. The point I want to convey here is that not only is it about getting the income, it is also understanding how the system of finance works, how
Rajan, just to cut you off a little bit, can you increase the volume? Actually, it's very low volume right now.
Is it better, ma'am? Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better now. Thank you.
Sorry for that. Yeah. So it is also about the taxation, which has a very, very important role as we go up the ladder in the tax slabs. So there are certain sections that I want to introduce you to. First is the section 80GG, so which is about availing some benefits of taxation when you're staying in your parents' home. Second is about section 54F, which is about reinvesting the long-term capital gains into another asset to avoid unnecessary taxation. And finally, is to join hands with your life partner, because that is a very, very important role that we must all sit down to talk with them, because in the long run, this really makes a huge difference. And there are certain special elements like HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, and it has its own set of tax benefits, which can be availed if the partners work in cohesion. Calculated risk. Do not underestimate the fixed income options. Always diversify your portfolio. By that, I mean to say, it is not always about stocks and equity and the charts. Sometimes, like I said, simple investing, boring investing could prove wonders. And one such hack here I have is that of a monthly investment scheme in Indian post office system, where a reinvestment of the returns actually helps multiply your returns. So this, not trying to get into the details, but a combination of the recurrent deposit and monthly investment scheme put together multiplies the outcome. A very important point I want here to be emphasized is securing from financial crisis. And I am sure the experts here know much better than me in this aspect. One is the health insurance, where this is a very appalling stats that I have to present in front of you. 15% of the people aged below 45, at YOSI it's just 40. So we are 5 years, ahead of this stat. Okay. Don't get health insurance policy because of various diseases, and the breakup is shown here. And can you believe it? About 1/5 of them is because of uncontrolled diabetes. Nearly a quarter of the people who chose private healthcare pay for their care from their own pockets, right? So this is the other side of the story, where availing health insurance can go a long way in protecting our financial assets, right? Apart from this comes a very, very important term insurance. So this, the earlier you do it, this is just a table showing the same. The earlier you do it, the benefit of having the same premium for the entire period of payment goes a long way in saving our premiums for the future. So one point I want to highlight here is, let us say you start at 30, as you see here, with an amount of 8,378. This is just a crude number. You're going to pay the same amount for the entire period. Now, 8,000 in a matter of 20 years will be nothing, but your premium does not change, and that's the beauty with term plan. Now, coming to the other side of the lake or the line, curbing the spending saga. So this is going to be more like a pep talk, so I'm going to skip this slide much. But what is important here is also to choose the right tools to have a healthy spending. Now, while it is always told that credit cards are a bad thing, and it is always risky to have credit cards, it makes you want to spend more and all of that, but still there's always a positive side to it as well. So using the right kind of credit cards, after curating it for your daily requirements, first list out the requirements and then choose the credit card, and that really helps. So these are some of the statistics that I have to share, like using credit cards for your routine petrol uses and for buying your groceries. All of these can really reward you in one way or the other, and that can help in sort of gaining something out of your spending as well. And last but not the least, please plan your retirement first, because now with things becoming more and more insecure and all these aspects, it's very crucial for us to not leave retirement for the last day of work. So this plan of NPS, National Pension Scheme, is a big boon to all the citizens of India, and I strongly insist that you have a look at it. So with that, quote from Robert Frost, and once again, I would like to thank all the organizers, YOSI Career Portal, Sunandini ma'am, Dr. Ashmita, and everyone for giving me this opportunity. And I hope I didn't overshoot my time too much. Thank you.
That was
That
really
was
lovely.
a very hackful talk, Dr. Niranjan. That was very practical, relatable, and extremely valuable. Thank you for the talk. And now, with
Thank you. Thank
that,
you.
I would like to invite Chairperson. We would love to hear from you, Dr. Anaga ma'am, your perspective on this topic today.
Yes, yes. So, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you for giving such a lovely talk. I think
Thank
that was a great overview.
Thank you. Thank you.
what you mentioned was really right, that we need to start early. Like, for example, now my son who is doing Conva Fellowship at LVP, or the younger son who is still in residency, even at that stage also, whatever you are earning, we have to keep out some amount for investing. Ideally, what they say is first you invest, and whatever is remaining, that you spend. It's not the other way around. That first you spend, and whatever is remaining you invest. So it has to be the other way around. And the earlier you start, you have a long term investment, and that definitely gives you more returns because of the compounding effect. Another thing is, especially for all the female ophthalmologists, especially the younger generations, what I would like to emphasize is, we also need to be financially literate. You should not leave it on your better halves. Many times it happens that, in a family, the husband looks at the finances and the wife looks at the house, all the house help, the needs, and the kids. It is right, but it shouldn't be that the lady of the house doesn't understand financial literacy at all. So if you are practicing, then you should also look at the balance sheet. You should also look at how much you're earning, how much you're saving, and what investments you're doing, and what are the various opportunities, what are the various options that you have. So female financial literacy is very important. Don't ignore it and don't neglect it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your lovely insights. And I completely agree that a lot of times what happens that even me, I rely on my husbands to make most of my decisions. But in 2020, 24, my views changed when I joined. The first time there was AISC Kolkata, there was a bio pavilion where we had a finance session, and I understood that while we were discussing, so I had got a little bit of knowledge, and that from then I have started managing my own finances thanks to Dr. Nilesh, and then there were
Great.
a few many people who were part of that bio pavilion. With this, we have a very interesting thing that Dr. Asmita has suggested. So this is a rapid fire round where we are going to ask each one of you three questions, and you have 30 seconds to answer them either in one word or uh, one sentence. So the first one will be for Anaga ma'am. So your first question, ma'am, is one financial habit that changed your life.
Investing, SIPs.
Okay. The second one is one money mistake you made early in your career.
I was not financially literate when I started. That was
Oh,
a mistake which I feel I should have started long back.
okay. And then the third question for you, ma'am, is one investment every young doctor should start immediately.
SIPs. No
Ma'am is
second
all
thoughts.
in for SIPs.
Yes,
So
yes.
next, so next up is for Dr. Nilesh. Nilesh, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. There will be some
Oh,
background noise. Sorry for that, but I'm
that
here.
is okay. That is okay. So your first question is one cost you underestimated when starting out.
HR cost.
Uh, one thing, one thing you wish you had not bought in your first year.
First year, I everybody tells me that I should not have bought Quadra, but I think I support that decision still.
You're all in for quadra.
Yeah.
Okay. And the third question for you is start clinic early or wait 5 years, which is financially better.
Uh, if you have money, I'll start as early as possible. If you have the corpus.
Very, very nice, Dr. Nilesh. And with this, we move on to Dr. Nikunj. Nikunj, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, the rapid fire for you are one financial myth young ophthalmologists must stop believing.
That you will start investing when you when you come into real world post fellowship. You should start when you are a PG. That is the myth. Even I was believing that.
Same here for me. The next one is one trade that makes doctors lose money.
I think investing on the basis of somebody else's tip. Some friend told you to invest, and if you invest without doing your research, that will definitely make you lose your money.
True, agree. One mindset that keeps you build wealth.
Discipline about investing. That is the mindset I have right now, and that I think is helping me building the corpus which I'm aiming to. So it's all about discipline. That's it.
So this is coming from the financial guru who runs the financial department and all the webinars for YOSI. So Dr. Asmita, would you like to ask about next panelist, the third
Yes.
round of
Yes. So
okay.
the next set of questions is for Dr. Neeraj.
Hi.
Yeah. So if you could teach just one money lesson to residents, what would it be?
What everyone already said, start investing because the duration matters, the amount does not. So 100 rupees at 20 years and probably 10,000 rupees at 5 years more or less land up at the same place.
One financial goal that every ophthalmologist should set by age 35.
35? What financial goal can you possibly reach by 35?
No, set,
Uh,
not reach, set a goal. Yeah.
okay. 35, assuming mostly all interesting compound interest returns you'll really see after 20-25 years. So assuming if you start at 35, 20-year period, 55, 60, by the time people, when you reach retirement age, you would have generated a huge corpus. So, and like what was said earlier in the talk as well, that you also need to start diversifying into various different portfolios, not only stocks itself. So there should be some planning.
Oh, and the third question is one financial risk that's worth taking in your 30s.
Financial risk. uh, you mean in terms of investment, or so
Yeah, it
usually
could be
there's a
personal or
thumb
work
rule.
related.
So there's a thumb rule that the riskiness of your investment is 100 minus your age. So let's say you're 30 years old, you should plan to invest 70% of your corpus into high risk entities. Because let's say you even lose quite a lot of that money, you still have time to make it up. That keeps going down. By the time you are 50, 60, then you have to invest in safer entities. So in fact, earlier you start in early 30s, invest in high risk entities.
Wow, 70% is
Oh yeah.
that's a large risk, huge risk.
Hmm.
So thank you,
it,
sir.
it
Thank
does
you,
it
Dr.
does
Nikunj.
pay off. So
So my
interestingly,
next
I had
set,
started my investment journey when I was in college itself.
I
MBBS
think
times.
that is going to be the main takeaway for today's webinar. Start from your residencies. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
My next set of question is for Ms. Dipali. Are you there?
Yeah, hi, I'm there. Yes.
Hi. So one thing you're doing today that your future self will thank you for.
I think working consistently and staying put in what my goals are. I mean, pursuing my goals, I think.
Financially, Dipali.
The financial goals also. Yeah.
Financial goals also. Oh,
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So real estate early in career, is it a smart move or better wait?
I think it's a smart move if you don't aim for something which is very high value. If you make something which is not your home that you would like to stay in, you can start something small, and I think that would be a smart move, and then keep progressing. Sell it, buy something bigger. We keep aiming for something very big in life, and eventually not invest for a long time. So I think start with something small and then keep progressing to a bigger asset.
How much of your income should ideally go into investments?
I'm actually the wrong person to, talk about this, but I would say probably about, I mean, I would 25-30% is what I would say.
That is good enough. That is good enough. If you, even if you do not know much about financing, 20, 30, 40% of your income can be
Yeah.
hand for investment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Virendra Rawat,
Uh,
are you
yes,
here?
yeah,
Yes.
I'm there. I'm there.
Hello, good evening. So the question for you is mutual funds or FDs? Which beats inflation better?
Mutual funds any day.
Any
So,
day, any day.
yeah, any day. So mutual funds could be, so mutual funds are also varied. I think there is a one doesn't need to invest in one mutual fund or one kind of mutual fund. Uh, you have debt mutual fund, which will give you, where they are less riskier. Of course, give little less return, and then there are within mutual fund on equity also. You could have it in blue chip companies or mid segment or small segment stock, which will so you can mix and match. But FD would not invariably, and I'm talking about real inflation. Well, let's not go by what
Okay.
the government figures. I am not into it. Usually, people, if you look around, you will understand. People who are spending on daily basis, they will understand that the inflation is much higher than what the figures are shown. So yeah,
Yes.
mutual
So
fund,
what's your risk appetite?
very
Low,
high,
medium, or high?
very high. So no questions there again.
Okay.
See, one of the panelists said rightly that higher risk, higher returns. Uh, uh, there is a difference between having a high risk appetite and sensible investment. Now you can and they go hand in hand. By the way, it's not that uh, you know uh, uh, it's not that you have people who say that high risk doesn't involve sensibility. Both of them can work. It's just that one has to give enough thought before investing, even if it is a high risk investment, and weigh the returns versus the investment.
And so that goes with a well-researched high risk. Do you
Yes.
track your monthly expenses?
Uh, I actually know, so not really now, but yeah, I am mostly because what we have done is between me and my wife, and like again, ma'am was saying that most female, female should also be, financially savvy or knowledgeable. I think between me and my wife, we have already decided what are our fixed expenses, what are our variable expenses, and just to answer a question to Dipali, the question that was said to Dipali, there is no fixed percentage actually. What the way we look at it is we have our fixed expenses, which means we are not spending on our luxury or something like that. So fixed expenses, then something on our, say some luxury, and then whatever is remaining, then all of it can be invested. So there's no percentage for that.
Thank
Yeah,
you
so
so
that
much.
goes with first invest and then spend the remaining. Right. So
Yeah.
now that we have energized and with this rapid fire round, we'll move on and dive a little deeper into the deeper perspective. So handing over to Dr. Sunandini ma'am for the further panel discussion.
Okay, so that was really fun, rapid fire round. This was suggested by Asmita actually at the last moment that what if, ma'am, we do something like that rather than just having some questions and asking the panelists, just single one line or two line answers from the panelists. So now we have a few questions that we had received from a few of our audiences. So I would like Asmita to ask our first set of panelists the questions, please. You are not audible,
As
Yes.
Asmita.
Asmita, please unmute. Yeah.
Yes, I'll begin with Dr. Anaga ma'am.
Yes.
So first question is, as an ophthalmologist, how do you balance investing in clinical equipment, the courses and the fellowships, or and your personal wealth goals?
Yes. So first and foremost is from the equipment perspective. First, we decide what equipment we need, how much ROI are we expecting. So we do an analysis on that. That how many patients would we get, what would be the returns on it, and that would be my first priority. second priority would be my personal this thing. So if that is very important, then yes, of course, then there is no question. If it is a luxury and the clinical equipment is more important, then I would keep my personal um, spending at the last. And from fellowship and courses, fortunately now I'm in an established practice. So right now I don't probably need it. But if I compare my personal versus the clinical, I give more priority to the professional investments, and then decide how to take it and which to take. That depends on first quality. It should give us very good quality of treatment or diagnostic modality, whatever it is, and then see the ROI.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Nikunj, we would like to hear from you on how early in your medical career, a little deeper, did you really start planning on your finances, and what do you wish that you had understood earlier?
So that's a very good question. But honestly speaking, the real world finance, the personal finance journey, I started in 2020 when COVID happened, because at that time I had a lot of time to kill, and then till that time the whole focus was on building a career, learning surgeries, learning this surgery, that surgery, whatever. So that is what has been always been a goal for all of us, and which is very very essential also, because without that your career will also not go in the direction you want to. So before that I was just doing savings according to what is the traditional way, like yearly 1.5 lakhs for that PPF thing, or that also my wife told me, and then I invested whatever it was possible. So yearly saving was just that 1.5 lakhs, I think, if I remember, or even less than that. I was not even, reaching 1.5 lakhs a year. So one thing I would love to, redo or if there was a, somebody can go back in time, or if I would like to tell somebody that what they could do is that when you are a resident and you start earning whatever money that is, wherever you are, because the residency structure and the stipend structure is not universal in our country, so everybody gets different stipend depending on where they are getting the admission. So try to save at least a percentage, like at least 20 to 20%, or if you can max out maybe 30% of that money, whatever amount you're earning, just percentage of that much percentage of that, and you should invest it in a at least basic like an index fund or something. And just to have that habit makes you a great investor, because inculcating that habit in early age is the most important goal you should have in your 20s when you are a resident, because all of us will be resident in our 20s or even early 30s also. So I'm really sorry, some noise will come because somebody is playing dhol in the background. So that is one thing that I would really want to learn, that if I would during residency, if I would, I calculated that if during residency I would have invested 20% of my stipend, what that amount would have been today. The amount was in current times, it was not that significant, but still it was significant for the amount of money which I was earning that time. So that is very, very important that you inculcate the habit of investing early. And as I say that it is never too late to start. If you should never feel that you are late to start, as long as you start this, because without, if you don't start it, you are always late, as simple as that, right? That is one.
We didn't hear the dhol in the background, but definitely finance related dhol to bajne laga hai for sure.
So it was very
Um,
loud here, so I thought
Here, the takeaway important what I would pick up is that it's not the amount, it's the discipline. When you set it
yes.
at early age,
Yes.
it's the
So when you are a
discipline that
resident,
matters.
it's not amount if it is a 2,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, or even a 500 rupees. It's all about the you are doing it consistently
Discipline.
every month, and for you whatever amount of whatever years of residency, 2 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever.
Right.
That is very
Yes,
important.
thank you, Dr. Nikunj. Dr. Nilesh. Yes, Dr. Niranjan.
Yeah.
Just a point here. One thing I also wanted to highlight was on building an emergency fund. See, often we get demotivated when once we are forced to break our investments for an emergency purpose. Right? So that is one big demotivating factor for all of us, especially in our young ages. Like, for example, we want, let us say we want to pay for our fellowship or a paid training or of any sort. We pay a huge sum. But what we should not confuse it with is our emergency fund. So in beginning of any investment journey should actually, by even the financial experts advice, should be about building an emergency fund, which is roughly said to be around 6 to 8 times your monthly income. So that the principle behind that is actually, let us say you go jobless. This applies to everybody, not just doctors. You go jobless for a period of 6 months, you are able to sustain your family and your living.
True.
And
True.
this, looking at it in a different perspective, especially as youngsters, we are having to go through different financial situations. Like, for example, you may enter into a fellowship where suddenly your pay drops from your stipend even lower than your stipend that you received during your post-graduation. It could be there, but you have to take that risk. When we were discussing about what is the risk that you would take, like sir was saying, the financial risk may not actually be about investing. It's also about our career goals. So you take the financial risk of joining a fellowship for a lower pay to upgrade your skills. So that again is a financial risk. And I strongly insist that we build an emergency fund to take care of undue expected circumstances, apart from the insurance aspect that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Niranjan. I think Dr. Nilesh wants to add something. Dr. Nilesh?
I wanted to build upon what Nikun sir was saying. Is when you start early, you start with small amount. The good thing about that is because initially you will have some bad investments. So that is a very good time to have those bad investment and learn rather than going big and then making those mistakes. Initially, everybody wants to earn the maximum output, and they will invest into penny stocks and the mutual funds that are giving high returns. But suddenly you see that they are doing front running or something like that, and suddenly it crashes. So getting all those mistakes ready done in that small amount of 500,000, 2,000 will make you disciplined for life when you are investing in lakhs. So
Dr.
that is the
Sunandani,
benefit of starting early.
Dr. Sunandani, for the emergency fund, I think I would like Virender to add on here, particularly from a point of view of
We
planning a
we
clinic.
actually have a set of questions where we have the emergency fund question also. So we were coming to
Yeah.
it, but Dr. Niranjan
Yeah,
wanted to
because
speak on it.
I would want Virender to
Yes, yes,
talk
yes, yes.
about it
We
as
we
well.
have we have questions for everybody. So
Yeah,
let
yeah.
us just go with the next questions for Dr. Nilesh. Dr. Asmita?
Yeah, Dr. Nilesh, what are the most common financial leaks in a new setup and how do you avoid them?
So initially, there are a few things that we don't anticipate. As I said, that there are share costs. Similarly, we don't also anticipate the if you are having say private limited or LLC, there will be TDSs and all the kinds of taxation that comes with it. And we don't actually use that in our finance. Then AMC cost and CMC cost, often when we calculate ROI and everything, we don't include that. So these are the recurring expenses which are most commonly missed, even your renewals of various licenses. So these are not financial leaks as per, but when you start calculating your balance sheet and your investment, I have initially I tend to ignore it or didn't factor it in, but now I have started factoring those points in. Apart from that, also sometimes when you are young, you hire people who more than what is required, or you start paying them because you are coming from that background that the salary is so less, so you tend to overpay them initially, and that is also one thing that we need to keep in check initially.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Nilesh.
Nilesh.
So I would like to ask my next question to Dr. Neeraj. Dr. Neeraj, do you use any app for financial planning?
I mm, I do, but primarily I use Excel
You
and
use Excel.
and
Like then
so
how do you
particularly
like
no.
diversify between your like traditional funds, like how much to put in the FD, how much to put in the mutual fund, how much to put into equities, real estate or digital assets? How do you decide upon that in your practice?
So stocks, and so there are a couple of things that I do. So SIPs to just go as a regular sum that does not have to be thought about. And like the speaker was saying, that you do a 10% hike every year, so that takes care. Secondly, in terms of specific equity investment, whatever extra money I would have at that point of time, so that amount is variable. Someone was very nicely mentioning that you have a fixed cost, variable costs, and then you have other extra money. So based on that, real estate actually usually demands very high amounts of investment. So that has a completely different plan. And if you are interested in real estate, then you have to plan accordingly. Thirdly, suppose I would want to make a large amount purchase. What can also be done is that you could take a loan against your own stocks or your own against your mutual fund or something, rather than liquidating that investment. So that way you have the investment, as well as you can do large amount purchases like real estate or something like that. It all depends on the original corpus. That is how I usually function.
So I agree
But
that real estate is a very tricky situation, and mostly in places which are very saturated, because sometimes even if you have invested in a very good property, the ROI plus as well as when you want to sell it, it is not very liquid money that you can get very soon. So this is something that
correct.
I think you have correctly said, that we should definitely think and then only invest in later stages of life, I would feel. Uh, so my next question would be for Virendra ji. So how much emergency fund should an ophthalmologist, you think, or any other young doctor should maintain, and like what should be the general plan, Virendra
See,
Rawat ji?
yeah. So, emergency fund could be looked in two ways, if you to ask me. One is basically the personal emergency fund, which I think has already been answered. Say 6 months or 7 months of of your income, or more than income of your expenses. I think that's what your emergency fund should be based on, because your expenses are fixed. So that is one part of it. Uh, the other thing is for ophthalmologists who have just started or who are wanting to start their own setup. So for them also, the formula holds that they should always have a 6 month of emergency fund, but in our financial parlance we call it working capital fund, or we can say working capital reserve, as we call them. So 6 month of working capital reserve for business, or 6 month of equivalent of your monthly income. That's how would I put it. That will keep you safe.
Thank you so much, Virendra.
Yeah.
And being the VP of Medica Bazaar, I would like to ask Dipali that what Medica Bazaar has planned, and I think you have supported us very well in the YOSICon also, where you have, gave opportunities for a few of our ophthalmologists to have PTCs and different payment plans. So if you can just enlighten a little bit about the Medica Bazaar plans for our young ophthalmologists for setting up a clinic so that they can be financially stable in the initial periods.
So, Dr. Surandari, and for the YOSI members here, I would like to say that Medica Bazaar gives you a complete solution in that sense. I mean, we have products, and we also have financing solutions that we can offer. And one of the reasons why Medica Bazaar can offer financing solutions to doctors is because if we talk about the different businesses that we have within Medica Bazaar, so one of our big business is the imaging business, where we are roughly doing about 1,000 to 1,200 crores every year. And then we have other high capex businesses like critical care business, in which we are doing products like ventilators, defibrillators, or critical care products like anesthesia stations, etc. We do complete capex projects within a hospital. So these are very
Okay.
large projects where each project might be ranging from 15 to 20 crores also. So those are the large projects that Medica Bazaar is already into, and so we are well networked within I won't use the word well networked, but we have a certain financial metal or might, for Medica Bazaar because of the kind of business that we are doing. And so, NBFCs or banks, definitely give us good rates. And we also offer something which is like a vendor driven financing solution. So it's a complete package. You can buy the product from us and we can help you finance it. So we are not directly NBFCs ourselves, but there are many NBFCs who are working with us. And we will definitely give you very competitive rates through these NBFCs because of the large business that Medica Bazaar is already doing through these NBFCs. So today, we could be selling a slit lamp, or we could even be selling an excimer laser as well. So recently we've done a project in Bhuj, where we have we've helped finance an excimer laser also. So we have industry partners, and these are companies from Zeiss to Appasamy who are working with us. And we are doing capex projects, where it could be aggregated capex project for a complete clinic, or it could be just one product also, one equipment. So it can be multiple options and combinations of things.
Thank you so much, Dipali, for this insightful about the Medical Bazaar plans for young ophthalmologists. Out of the normal questions, I have two questions from all the panelists. First is, do anybody use any app for the financial planning things for personal or professional finances? If anybody wants to answer this.
I use End Money. I feel that End Money is matlab, it has a comprehensive coverage of mutual funds, investment in Indian stocks, US stocks, and also gold and everything. So it also even gives you options for different FTs. So that is one super app that is very easy to use, very easy interface. Um, that's the only one that I use.
Anybody else uses any apps?
I use Zero. I'm
It's
using
just
Zero.
for,
Yeah,
okay.
really sorry. You can go ahead, sir.
No. So Zerodha, of course, I was also saying the same thing. So,
Okay.
but I wanted a little clarity on the question. Are we talking about financial planning or investments, basically? So for investment, like you rightly
Both,
said, sir.
both.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah, so then me and Dr. Nikunj, both of us are Zerodha kind of this thing.
Right.
But for planning, I think I'm little more in the sense one should be, I don't think one should need an application just for planning, because one, most of us have a limited income and we know our expenses. And yeah, so otherwise, once you have decided that there is a corpus that you have already, or certain percentage of your income you want to invest, then you have all the, say, like application app like Zerodha has all the uh, instruments that are there, so one can go there.
Sir,
Okay.
I'd
Dr.
just like to
Nikunj?
interject here for End Money because, sir, End Money also helps you in financial planning because all the investments are on a single platform. So you can have an XIRR, weighted return for all the investment of your portfolio, and you can also see if any particular investment or any sector is going heavy on you, and you can probably rebalance in the app itself. So the initial decision obviously is more academic, but once you start investing, I think during the rebalancing phase also it helps in the planning part.
True.
Right. Dr. Nikunj, you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, so there are certain apps just like IND Money and ET Money is also another app which has certain paid and now I think a lot of them, I think Univest and all, which I have not used, but I've seen advertisements and that they definitely give you recommendations depending on your risk appetite, depending on your financial goal horizon and the amount which you want to invest. So suppose you want to save for a 3-year financial goal, then what kind of instrument you should use. If you have a financial goal which is 5 to 7 years away, then what kind of financial instruments, like how much equity it should be, or should it be pure equity? And then 10 years 15 years goal, I mean, you can go heavy on equity, and those kind of recommendations can be easily available on ET Money and all these apps. So they have little small paid amount. I think ET Money has Genius, something is called Genius. So it guides you. So suppose you have a goal which is 5 years away. So first, initially you invest more in the equity, and then once you're about to reach your goal, then you try to move really slowly that money out of equity and then more towards that near your goal, so that your risk of fluctuating the return will be less as you are about to reach your goal. So I mean, these are just simple things. So you any financial advisor can also give you that, but these are the ways nowadays. Everything is digital, so a lot of apps are there. I mean, a few of them even I'm not aware which must be available.
Thank you, Dr. Nikunj. With this, I think we come to the end of our session right on time. I would like to ask Kanaga ma'am for her closing remark and some financial advices that she wants to give our young ophthalmologist. Kanaga ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sunandini. And I think thank you, Yosi, for such a great webinar. Now, the only financial advice I would give everyone is basically, like we said earlier, start investing early and be consistent. It shouldn't be like, just one time and then you say, ki, theek hai, next time dekhenge, baad mein dekhenge. This time I will, spend on something on myself for luxury. So that discipline should be there, so that is going to help you. And I think you should, if you are a couple, then you have to have a very good understanding your spouse, how you're going to guide your financial journey ahead, so that each one of the couple should feel financially secure. And I think you have to plan life very well, and write down where you want to be 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. Invest accordingly. I think to be
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Ranjan, your closing remarks and the advice that you want your colleagues to have from you.
Uh, for me, ma'am, one thing which Nikun sir also mentioned, I think as young ophthalmologists, we are still finding our tread in this place. So in this field of ours. So even for me, having some basic knowledge is crucial, but I know of a few people who want to dive deeper and deeper into the field of investing, while we have experts to do that. So I think as young ophthalmologists, our aim should be to find our and upgrade our skills as ophthalmologists first, and then tread into investing. Though this is slightly contrary to what I have spoken so far, I have seen this side of the story as well, where people have completely given up on the practice and gotten deeper into investing. So my suggestion for everybody would be to learn the basics and always focus on our career while knowing the essentials of investing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Niranjan. Dr. Neeraj, your closing remarks and your advice for our young ophthalmologist. Dr. Neeraj, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So, very interesting insights from everyone. And like what was discussed, couple of salient points, like what ma'am was also earlier saying, start early, amount does not matter, duration matters. Second point is need not worry about going into big budget purchases and all that. Whatever is feasible, do that. Third is, in my opinion, you did not necessarily, if you don't have the time or the correct resources, you need not necessarily try and learn everything yourself about the finances. What would be useful is hire a specialist, take someone. There are a lot of wealth managers, a lot of advisors available. You can take their services, at least start the journey. Sooner or later, when you become wiser and you would have more money also at that certain point of time, you can start venturing out on your own. But delaying because you yourself don't understand financial markets is not a very great idea. Rather start than worry about commission and losing money on commission or something like that.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj. Dr. Nikunj, your closing remarks and your advice for your colleagues, please.
I think everything has been covered, so I don't have anything much to add. But important thing is, um, uh, if you for the investment part, you should start early as possible, but you should not forget your primary skills, and you should never forget you should never forget to focus on your primary source of income, because once that grows, your investment will also grow. Obviously, matlab, without saying anything. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Nikunj. Dr. Nilesh, your closing remarks and your advice to us.
I think this will be like a cuckoo clock because everybody will be saying same thing. SIP and start early is the goal. What I had been told, I was posted with Dr. Shantanu Chakrabarti in Lotus Eye Hospital. It was like my first month, and I was having tea with him in a canteen, and he told me, "You do it now." Like he made like during when we were sipping tea, he made me start the SIP there because he's like, "No, don't start early. Start now." So that is one thing tonight only. If you are watching this webinar, you should do it tonight only. And second thing, that what I have started doing, because I realized that it's not only about finance. Just like inflation, the academics and the technology is also advancing. So start SIP in your machines and start SIP in your skills also. So every year you keep adding one machine and one clinical skill in your practice, so that you keep growing just like your wealth.
Thank you, Dr. Nilesh. Virendraji, your comments for
Yeah,
the
so
webinar and
what I was about to say is something which might sound radically little different from what what we have been proposing right now, and I agree with Dr. Nilesh. So the biggest, like mentioned, that the risk and returns, they go hand in hand. The biggest risk one can take and therefore get the best return possible is, and I would advise that to every young ophthalmologist, to look for his or her own clinic at own setup. You invest in your business, that will carry some risk, but the returns that you're going to get is fabulous. I don't think I need to say anything more.
thank you so much, Virendraji. Dipali, your comments, closing comments, please.
Yeah, Dr. Sunandani, I am also going to say the same thing, that I think if any ophthalmologist is planning to open a clinic, we are at Medica Bazaar more than happy to help in terms of, the capex aggregation, and we will, give you an option that suits your budget. So it could be a young ophthalmologist, and we are dealing with doctors. There are young ophthalmologists who need a certain set of equipments, and then there are doctors who are, probably in the prime of their career also. So we recently are doing a project with a doctor from Gurgaon who's a senior doctor. So, setting up a clinic for that doctor as well. So there are various options that we can, give you in terms of what is the kind of capex you should plan at a certain stage in life. And with Medica Bazaar, the beauty is that you can offer different kinds of products. It's not that, you are of one company and all the products have to be from the same company. So we'll give you the good combinations. We'll help you finance. So my request would be that if you're thinking of planning that clinic, do reach out to us at Medica Bazaar.
Thank you, Dipali, for all the support to YOSI. And last but not least, my co-moderator, my support system, Dr. Asmita, your closing remarks and your advice to our colleagues, please.
Um, well, it looks like this webinar was designed for me because I am the most beginner I'm when it comes to finances. This probably is my first interaction or first session of finance related anything that I'm attending, and I think that's because of my MBA finance husband that I have. And thank you, Anaga ma'am, for opening up this thing to me that yes, I need to get into this now. So this is a starting point for me. And as Dr. Neelesh said, yes, I think I'll do it today and now after. So thank you, everyone. This was very, very, very informative. And I'm sure there are a lot of young ophthalmologists out there like me who have not even thought of beginning. And uh, this was this was nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asmita. We also have our Joint Secretary, Dr. Prasanna, here with us. Prasanna, just say hi and
Hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. A bit noisy here, Sunandini. I hope it's not disturbing the rhythm there, but
no. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And we are very delighted that you were there with us for the whole
I learned
webinar.
a lot, and Somebody else was telling about, I think Niranjan was telling the partner that you marry, that also plays a important role in investment. So yeah, I think I agree with most of the things, and I also learned a lot in the course of the webinar. Thank you, Sunandani.
Thank you so much, Prasanna. So with this, we come to the conclusion, and I thank each and every one of you for
Ma'am,
being
we
here
will
today
need
for.
your advice to young ophthalmologists as well.
So I am a very good gold investor. I think that buying gold is something that has really worked very well for me. So when I started my residency, my father forced me into all this PPF and everything, and my husband told me to start SIP, which I really did not understand. But somehow, because I was a female and I was interested in gold or jewelry, so this is something that really worked well for me, gold investment. So whether it is a digital gold or whether it is a physical gold, both of them has worked very well for me.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
So yes, thank you so much for everybody for being here today, for giving your time here. And I think it has been a very nice webinar where we have learned so much about finances. Thank you so much, Anaga ma'am, for giving your precious time to the young ophthalmologists here today. We are extremely delighted to have you here. And quickly, I would just like to tell something to everybody who is listening, that we have a job and fellowship carnival that we have done on this YOSICon also, where we had almost 28, 30 institutes who were interacting with the delegates. And we will be doing the same thing in our next YOSICon, which is going to be in New Delhi in the month of June. And we look forward for all the institutes and our delegates to participate in it. And it is going to be a big hit. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll just quickly make the yo sign for the group photograph, please. Mr. Sai, can you take the photograph? Mr. Sai, have you taken the photograph?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. A very, very good evening and good night
Thank
to
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank
I
you.
thought
And
Mr.
thank
Sai
you.
went to do an SIP.
Thank you.
Will do, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank
everybody.
you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
you.